Alright, and then they talked about immigration. The fact that our immigration process has failed miserably over decades and decades. Just can't seem to get it right. Alright? They asked Donald first to say, hey man, what's up on your deal with your policies on immigration? And he said, guess what? It's lots of problems. I mean, when you think about it fiscally as a nation, this is unsupportable, but not only that, I mean, these are undocumented people in general. You understand that American citizens, when we're born up into America, we have all sort of documents on us. It's going to follow us forever and ever. It's not that hard to figure out what it is we've done before if it was a criminal act. Alright? So this is the point. When you have, when you have people who are illegal, the biggest problem is the fact you can't even hardly document them. They don't have no documents on them. Alright, so it's like all these people out here can't understand that this is bad for us. It's been bad for us. And meanwhile, illegal Mexicans or whatever else come up into the country and stuff, and they act bad. They act all sort of bad. Guess what? They're acting bad to other Mexicans on the border. This is why all the border towns love the idea of a wall right by now. Alright, so Donald Trump is listing off all sort of reasons why it's bad. That what we're doing right now is inexcusable. And it needs to change. And then Hillary was posed that question about her stances on immigration, and immediately she makes up a lady by the name of Carla. Or maybe she really did meet a girl named Carla, but she names one person named Carla who was scared that she met a girl. She was scared, and she thought her parents were going to be ripped out of her life and banished to a faraway land forever and ever. Carla. And she's like, I can't imagine what kind of Hitler Nazi stuff would go ahead and rip people and their family apart. They didn't do nothing wrong. But the thing is that, yes, they did do something wrong. They committed a crime. Alright, and it's not to be like, oh, I'm holier than thou. I commit crimes probably regularly. I don't try to, but I do. Alright, so, but this is a criminal act. You can't set the president to be a criminal. It's good because, see, we need laws that protect us from criminals, probably. So Hillary Clinton makes up some lady named Carla and says, can you imagine her family being ripped apart? Yeah. Because they committed crimes. Here's the thing. Here's also what I want to mention. Alright, Hillary Clinton, since you've been in the government for pretty much like 30 years now, a long time. A long time. You know you were running stuff while Bill was supposedly the president. Alright, so with that in mind, even you brought up, and you can look this up, even she brought up the fact that there would be 15 million, hypothetically there could be more, I mean they're undocumented, 15 million people who are in this country illegally. And the reason is because you made it too hard to become a citizen. You were the one that fucked that all up. Alright, there could be a lot of fugitives out here, living out here undocumented and stuff. I mean, that is bad, but there's a lot of people who just couldn't get through all your red tape that you set up. It is your fault. 15 million people undocumented here, that is your failure. You are directly to blame for that. And even you admit it. Even you admit the monumentalness of your mishaps while explaining how a continuation of your mishaps is a good thing at all. Especially coming from out of Syria. Anyways, and then they go on to say this. Alright, before we move on, alright, this is pretty, this right here is significant, alright, because before we move on, I want to explain something that I've already explained before. But that Donald Trump explains over and over and over again, and it's crucial. Right? A country does not exist, nor does its laws exist, nor does the rights of its citizens exist that does not have borders. It has to have borders. Right? Here's one thing I can guarantee you, since the beginning of humans, there's always been borders. Alright? Always. There always will be. So if you're going to have borders, you know what I'm saying, where your citizens can be arrested for getting this and that and whatsoever across the border. If you're going to go ahead and have borders, well then have borders, right? And so Donald Trump, he throws out this because Hillary Clinton was talking about, oh, he's going to rip families apart just like I rip babies up out of the womb. And she was like, man, that's terrible. Donald Trump's terrible. Meanwhile, Donald Trump simply pointed out, listen, in 2006, Hillary Clinton, while you were saying whatever you had to say to possibly make it into presidency, you were talking about a wall. Alright? That's on record. Alright? So, it's on record. It's in everybody's face. Hillary Clinton will say anything. And then later she'll say anything else and completely deny that she said anything to begin with. She's been saying anything. Alright? So a country needs borders, period, regardless. Hillary Clinton happened to vote on the wall and stuff back in 2006. Meanwhile, see, the internet is under war right now. It's something like a tug of war right now on the internet between freedom and not freedom. Alright, so right now, WikiLeaks, they're dropping bombs after bombs after bombs on Hillary Clinton and some emails that she thought she got rid of. She did not get rid of them. WikiLeaks got them. Alright, and this Chris Wallace, he brought up, he said, man, on WikiLeaks it said that you said, Hillary Clinton, it said that you said that you don't believe in no borders. You want a hemisphere without borders. Well, and why'd you say that? And so Hillary Clinton, she then performs the rambling of a lifetime, right? The rambling of nobody's business in such a way that she was accused of saying that she doesn't believe in borders. Now, like I said, you don't have a country if you don't have borders. It's basically all sort of chaos. You don't have borders. Hillary Clinton wants that. She somehow turned it around. She made this monologue in which she starts from there, and she ends up saying Donald Trump is working with the Russians and they're hacking our internet all over the place. I thought the UN had control of the internet. How come Russia's getting all happy all of a sudden? Russia, you were asked why you don't like borders. Hillary Clinton, you were asked why you don't like borders at all, and then you somehow turned that into Donald Trump is working with the Russians. Even though on record in everybody's face the UN just took over the internet. If you're going to get hacked by the Russians all this quick, then you don't deserve to be controlling the internet. Nobody voted for you. Alright, Hillary Clinton loves you. And then Donald Trump went ahead and embarrassed her and he said, hey, look, you just pivoted from wanting open borders to somehow I'm working with Russia, even though you sold 20% of our uranium to Russia. You think we don't know that? And then we went ahead and they talked about this. Alright, so then they veer off a little bit, just a little bit, because you remember Hillary Clinton brought up Russia. And Donald Trump somehow has allegiance to Russia. She brought that up. Alright, so then they veered off a little bit, started talking about Russia and nuclear warheads and all sort of deals, and Hillary's... See, alright, it got a little bit boring, but what I want to explain is this. Hillary Clinton seems to have a very unreal paranoia when it comes to Russia for some reason. Right. And just to sum it up, Donald Trump, on the other hand, says, you know, shoot, I like to work with them folks. Right? Especially concerning ISIS, want to bomb them off the map. Because that's what they're doing. Figure we'll go ahead and tag team that up. And see what's popping. If they don't say what we like, then you know what, squash that deal. But go and see what they're talking about, is what Donald Trump said. He said, I'm curious to go and see what it is that they're talking about right now. Hillary Clinton is talking about all sort of espionage and backdoor dealings. Meanwhile, she is being investigated and exposed for espionage and backdoor dealings. Right? So that's the game that's being played. So anyways, that's basically to sum up their answer as far as Russia and all that goes. I want to take the time out to go ahead and just explain the symbolism involved here, because there is. Alright, this is a continuation of the Bible. We're living on the same earth as the Bible. Alright, so you notice that during these big events, you know, in history, you could feel the willies. Alright, you understand that there's a change taking place. Symbolically, these two people, really, when it comes to political matters, as of right now, present day to day, they couldn't really be more bipolar. They're extreme opposites of each other. And trust me, I understand when people are out there saying, oh man, this election ain't really real, and oh, they're trying to trick you into this and that. I understand what you mean. And I understand the people out there who understand that if the television didn't exist, neither one of these candidates would be up on that stage right now. Period. The television is who made this possible. And it's not even necessarily the television, it's the fact that the television, and all sort of lies, has been accepted into all of our homes and stuff over the years. Right? I respect the people out there who think that Donald Trump could possibly be lying and lying some more about what he's going to do, and then get up in office and do the complete opposite. I understand where the fears might come from, but that all being said, you look at these two candidates and they are the very opposite. So all those people, I mean, trust me, when I tell you that in person, I've heard a lot of people say, oh, well, they're just the same. All right, I don't want to concentrate on neither one of them. Actually, they're the exact opposite, which is funny. So, while I understand that, people out there might accuse the system of giving us two candidates that we really didn't want. I see where you're coming from in that, they'll do all sort of fraud. They've been caught for doing all sort of fraud already. I understand that, but what's taking place, whether in fantasy land or not, it's taking place in the perspectives of the majority of people in America. That's a lot of people. Right, it's a very big decision. You'll note that in the Bible, nations, when they make very big decisions, guess what? They catch judgment if those decisions aren't right. If those decisions aren't with God. And so, I know a lot of y'all ain't going to like this, but I want you to hear me, because a lot of people are hearing me at this point. I mean, a lot of people are on the same wavelength in that, alright, a man, believe it or not, should rule over a lady. When it comes to the formula of success, that lady should want to be ruled over by that man because she respects that man enough to let him do so. Now, that's a formula that's not only biblical, but it touches on every aspect of life, alright? There's people that don't understand that the United States, well, that's a country, certainly. But biblically speaking, the United States of America is a lady. It always has been a lady. It's a lady who deserves the utmost respect and care and consideration. Because this lady has given life to all sort of freedoms and liberties that really were not ever imagined before. And that's pretty dang good. So the country's a lady. And you had this guy over here named Donald Trump that, although, he seems rascally, yes, he's had locker room talk. Everybody in the world has had locker room talk. And much worse. Alright? But he's a man and he does not apologize, alright? The lady that is the United States of America wants a man who does not apologize, alright? So that she can believe in him and that he can all sort of crazy new heights, right? And he can lift her up with him because that's what a man and a woman does. And so, in that way, it's very symbolic, the decision that we have to make. And not only is it a man and a woman, to show you, okay, this is how simple it can be. You have the choice to be ruled over a man or a woman. And your country is, in fact, a lady, a sweet, sweet lady. But not only that, this lady couldn't be more corrupt. There's no way she could be more corrupt. And you got a man who's just talking about handling some business, loving on babies. Not murdering them, not chopping them up, scraping them out the womb. Because we're not talking about that. Everybody gets guns. We all get guns. Open carry if we want. And having nice families. And then you got this lady over here who's paranoid over Russia. You've been caught in espionage, alright? You're concerned over Russia and toddlers shooting people, or people shooting toddlers, and you think you can make laws about that, but you don't mind scraping out babies right before they're born and cutting their throats. All sort of blood spurting everywhere. You don't mind that. So you can see that these are polar opposites. It is about perspective. These people really couldn't hardly be more different. And that's why this is an important choice. And we will get judged because this is the tribulation. It's October the 22nd, 2016. I plan to cover all the questions if I can